All right, we are here with Leah Daly. Reactive PR versus what we call proactive PR. You have this great thing, proactive to be reactive. Maybe you just define what reactive PR is, why it's important.
It really helps for building authority, really helps get the brand out there in like a really natural way rather than like pushing a product or anything like that. But what I always say is like you need to be proactive to be reactive.
How do you find the editor? What does that relationship look like? Will they take cold emails? Will they even talk to you if you don't have a prior relationship? And three, like what is it that we're pitching at them?
These days, it's getting tougher and tougher to pitch journalists because you've so many different fake spokespeople. You've really badly, poorly written PRs that are being sent out to people. They want cold, hard facts and quick. Like I think there is like this rapid kit that you need to have. Basically, you need to have like.
All right, we are here with Leah Daly. So, Leah, I don't know how to introduce you. You are a young professional from Ireland, where you grew up, and somehow you made it to Barcelona, Spain, living your best life. You're really cool. You do digital PR. You help brands improve their authority. How does one grow up to be like Leah? I don't know. Can you give us a little advice?
Honestly, I probably couldn't replicate it if I had to. I think the way I got into digital PR, I kind of fell into it. And you know what? That's the best way because I had no expectations going into it. When I originally moved to Barcelona, it was for that job with my original agency. And I had no idea what to expect. I told my old boss I'll be gone for 6 months, see what happens. And here I am 4 years later, still in it, in the depths of PR. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
great.
very rare that you find someone in SEO or PR that, well, I guess, maybe PR is a little different, but definitely in SEO, you find very few marketing degrees or like, I
Honestly,
always want to grow up and be an SEO.
And I remember back in the day, I studied marketing and management in college. So we had a module, and one slight, like tiny, tiny element of it was SEO. And I was like, when am I going to need this? When am I ever going to need this?
Well,
Like,
unfortunately, that's the way the whole market was thinking. So that's okay. That's a great segue because when I came in and was the CEO of Shuro, gosh, it's been about 3 years now.
mhm.
And one of my digital marketing buddies, like an SEO company, are you drunk? I don't know what this is like the bottom of the marketing food chain. And then AI happened. And all of a sudden, we're front and center in this conversation. And SEO was always related to PPC. It's like, oh, keyword's a keyword's a keyword. But like in my view, especially for pure SEO plays, we were like content, we were authority. We were always more aligned with digital PR, and AI has made that way more. I don't know. It's changed consumer behavior, the way it now works. It's way closer aligned. So that's why I was so excited to talk to you, as you've seen AI evolve, or AI, just digital PR, last 18 months. Like, where are we? And then if that leads into reactive PR, could you kind of go there?
Yeah, of course. So obviously, with the implementation of AI, one of the biggest things for me these days is it's getting tougher and tougher to pitch journalists because you've so many different fake spokespeople, you've really badly, poorly written PRs that are being sent out to people, even topics like it might be old data. Like there's so many different ways that it is affecting the community, and I think it is making it tougher for that like percentage of us that is trying to do it like organically in the correct way. And because you have these people mass sending out really, really bad, I was about to say crap, really, really bad press releases, like, and it really, really affects us. But yeah.
Yeah, so but like there's more demand for digital PR now too, because now the algorithm, like what I like to say, AI triangulates your authority. You say all these great claims on your website, but it's now able to pick up off-page signals, traditional backlinks, PR style links, social media engagement. It's able, like, I think what they're saying is fairly accurate. So let's get them. So like there's been this amazing explosion of demand. But to your point, was it? I think Vince Nero at BuzzStream was saying 70% of editorial rejections are because of lack of relevancy.
Honestly, I think because it is getting that much tougher, people are just like broad topics. Like you could have like a gambling site and people are talking about hay fever. Like, and it just like I use that example all the time because do you know what? It does come up again and again and again. Like you really, really need to stay relevant. Like Google can tell. Like it can tell. It's there's no reason for you to be commenting on that. And it like like your betting expert or your odds expert, what do they know? They're not a
What do
doctor.
they know about hay
You're
fever?
not a pollen expert. Like, you really, really need to. And yeah, you might have to like broaden your topic sometimes because it is getting tougher and depends on news cycle and your niche. But like, you can broaden it and still be adjacent to your industry. You don't need to like jump ship completely.
But can you like okay, I think we went right in the weeds right away. Can we step a level up? Reactive PR versus what we call proactive PR. You have this great thing, proactive to be reactive. Maybe you just define what reactive PR is, why it's important.
So reactive PR to me is just jumping on any news story like immediately to try and get your expert quoted in there. It really helps for building authority, really helps get the brand out there in like a really natural way rather than like pushing a product or anything like that. But what I always say is like you need to be proactive to be reactive. Like I think there is like this rapid kit that you need to have basically. You need to have like your spokespeople signed off, you need to have your bios, you need to have angles that they're going to go for. You just need to have most of it ready. I think in some cases you even need to have pre-approved, like more general quotes. Because if you look at the news cycle, you know what's going to happen. If you have a cyber client, you know some company is going to be hacked down the way. Like you can see, it's repetitive as you look back. Sure, we're going to have like a couple of new scenarios, and then obviously you're going to have to get onto them and get your comment from them immediately. But I love like a good fact finding session. Like, so you can kind of get inside the brain of the expert. So then like by extension, you or your writers are like another extension of your expert. I think
I
it's
love that.
well
So,
like
like, hey, so big news story hit. So, walk me through just fundamentally. And Sherlock does this type of work too, but I think there's just a lot of confusion of why it's important, particularly for your off-page mentions. And by the way, I didn't even mention you're at Fat Joe, which are awesome. We do, yeah. So we'll get into we'll put links
that.
in the
Give them a
bio, but
shout
like
out as
they're
well.
awesome at this. All your reactive PR needs,
Mhm.
but like fundamentally, news story hits, major hack. You have expertise
Mhm.
within your organization, within your brand, that needs to be pitched to an editorial site. How do you find the editor? What does that relationship look like? Will they take cold emails? Will they even talk to you if you don't have a prior relationship? And three, like what is it that we're pitching at them? You mentioned like I need to have pre-approved quotes, I need to have set expertise. There's a person on the other side of this transaction or this pitch. What do they need?
They
How do
need
I find them? What do they need?
they need a comment that actually gives a strong opinion, because there's a lot of commentary going out there and you're like sitting on the fence. Like you need to have a bit of direction in it. Like there's no point in pitching something the journalist could probably already tell you. They also want it quickly, and they just want it like they want it tight. Like you don't need to be sending them like super long press releases. All I do is intro, comment, expert, please link, goodbye. Like they don't want a lot of wishy-washy. Like even for us, we very, very rarely would send out like infographics or anything like that unless it's super, super relevant. I think time is of the essence. So for example, if there was a morning and there was a quote and I had the perfect person for it, we would probably go straight to our fact finding bank. I'd speak to the writers. They would write based off of what we have. If we need more in depth information, we would go to the spokesperson. But with us, luckily enough, we have like complete sign off and freedom with our clients. Like they trust us. We
Right.
we have a good
Makes
reputation
it
for
so
not
easy.
we don't honestly, it's the best thing ever. Like the way I don't know if you know much about the Fat Joe model, but the way we work is quite like hands off with our clients. Like so they'll place their order, we'll do all the work on our end, we'll take the work off of them. But we have a big data team as well, so they do a lot of research on our side, like on the time as well.
That's awesome because I mean, old Fat Joe's earned it, right? They've been around for well
Yeah.
over a decade. The idea is trust us. These things move very fast. If we get in this back and forth with you over pre-link approval, quote approval, we're going to lose it and the story's going to be gone. And so like that's even
Time
traditional backlink building and PR.
time really is of the essence. Because and especially it's so competitive now. Like everyone's going for the same stories. We all have, especially like we have a couple of like stranger niches, but like everyone has a travel client, everyone has a finance client, everyone has a cyber client. Like those stories are like gold dust. When it happens, you just need to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, is speed and angle, like, differentiate what you're saying. I think that's really great. So a lot of, you don't need an agency to do this, but you do need an angle, you do but, like, will these journalists, will they take an email and an angle for somebody they don't already know?
Yeah. We actively reach out to new journalists all the time, like people that we don't have a previous relationship with. Of course, the relationship kind of helps, because being in the industry long enough, I have people that will actually, and so the way we also operate is like on a probably like a 6 week order basis. So turnaround time is 6 weeks. So it's quite short for us, which kind of is another issue in itself, but we get there. But journalists will come to me because they know like I have a roster of people in different niches. Do you have a spokesperson for this at the moment? So like it's great because I can go down my list and I'll be like, perfect, there we go. And I think those relationships are really important. And I think I kind of built those through like Twitter back in the day with the journal requests, the likes of like Response Source, Quoted, all of those platforms are really, really good for building relationships. I think also LinkedIn. Yeah, I'd be making friends with all the journalists on LinkedIn and be like, please be my friend. But
That's where you wanna be. You wanna inbound. You wanna
exactly. When they're coming to you, it's half the battle. But honestly, I think cold email is perfect as well. They don't want waffle. They can see straight through it. They want cold hard facts and quick. But yeah.
and they don't want AI generated content. They can smell it a
Absolutely
mile
not.
away.
They can see we can all see straight through
Yeah,
it. You
it
stop.
stinks. You just, like, hold your nose when you look at it, right?
You're ruining the game for everyone. Like, I love AI and I think it's great for a lot of things, but like you can tell when it's even if you do your press release initially with AI, it needs to be read through by a human. It needs to be heavily edited. Like I'm not knocking anyone that does that because I know a lot of people, if especially in smaller agencies, might not have the time or the team to put the work into all the different elements. But it needs to be heavily edited. It needs to actually like it needs to be real. You can the human touch is so important, and
It
like
is. I think I don't know. There's 3 types of marketers. There are ones that, they're dragging their feet. They want the old ways. They don't like this newfangled AI. Then there are the other extremes, like, "Well, let's hack everything. This is great. I'll automate all my journalists outreach. I'll automate all my backlinks. I'll automate all my SEO content, and I'll just everything's automated." Both of those suck. Both of those really suck. And they like, yeah. But but I always call it the cyborg is the perfect thing. It's like the human plus machine is the one that's gonna
exactly.
be is the one that
Yeah.
integrates. The human touch on top of the tools is just magic. It just is magic, and maybe that goes away one day. I sure hope not because that's a beautiful it's
No,
been beautiful to see people have superpowers.
I honestly don't think it will. I think like if you're someone that's not using AI for anything, you're falling behind. You are. Like one of my like favorite uses for it and it speeds up so much time. I'll run my little prompt every morning and I've recently switched to Claude for doing it. I was using ChatGPT Pro for a while, but I'm testing out Claude now. So every single morning I'll go in, I'll pop in my prompt, I'll say, how does it go again? It's basically like I need you to scan the news for the last 24 hours. These are my clients, these are my spokespeople, these are the angles that I want to jump down. Can you pull me some articles that could be relevant for us to get onto? And even at that point, I do think it is slightly too late, like 24 hours, but
Yeah.
it is when you use deep research on it, like it comes back quite quickly. And I'm lucky enough that we have like a really quick turnaround with our team. Like we've writers in house, we've the data team in house. So it's great. But
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's such a practical way to use AI to make your job
And
better too.
I'm not an AI expert like at all. Like N8N, I was trying to build an automation on it, and N8N actually petrifies me. I'd be like pretending that I'm coding and I'm so good, but I'm not. Like, but I think I know a lot of people in the industry that are like really, really harnessing it, and they're doing so, so well out of it. Like having all these automations running for them straight away, and then they have the human element as well. But yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I want to switch over to a different issue with reactive PR. I'm sure you've dealt with this either yourself personally or for your clients, but we're pitching. Our expertise is just not being recognized by these journalists. What's the fix out of that ditch?
As in, like, if you're sending like an expert comment and it's just not okay. So I think a massive issue is like I said a bit earlier, like standing on the fence. Like, there's no point reiterating what happened to them. And like, I think earlier in my career, I might have been guilty of this as well because you have clients that like they don't want to annoy anyone or they don't want to like they don't want to make any negative they think negative press is bad press. And a lot of the time it can be.
Mm,
I respect that having your name attached to it. Like if it's something like if something that people feel really, really strongly about, not
right.
like you need a side to stand on. You need to give an actual opinion. Otherwise, like the journalist doesn't want that. Like they don't want fluff from you. They can create that themselves. They want an expert for a reason. So you need to kind of you need to put your best foot forward and have an
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, put your name on it, make a stand on it, have a unique take on it, go against the grain. I mean, encouraging clients to take some brand risk is hard, but, like, it is worthwhile.
Especially I think in like those bigger companies and like so like I used to work for like a really big financial company and one of the analysts was my spokesperson that I was always and this was like when newsjacking was just becoming trendy and my back and forth with him I was pleading with him. I was like please 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 I need an opinion and he was like I need to get sign off from like 10 people and I was like let's just get sign off on one of them and I was like, I promise I won't go rogue on it. Like, just give me the freedom. Like, you can give me the details on the numbers. And every single morning, without like with finance, it's fine because you have your calendar. You know when these announcements are dropping. So he was so good for sending it to me in the morning, and I was like, I promise I will not lead you wrong. And we did so well together. But like, I think you just it's the human element as well. You just need to get your trust from your clients as well. Because
Yeah, yeah, you
I'm
could do all that.
I'm not
Y
going to put something rogue out there. Like it's my name
No.
attached to it as well. But there is people that will. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta do the guidepost, you have to do that pre-work. You can make all your pre-canned quotes as much as you can, but, like, in the case of newsjacking, which has kind of a negative tone to it, but really it's just hopping on, like, where does your brand's expertise speak into this news story?
exactly.
Sometimes you don't have a pre-canned quote ready for that.
No, no, no. Like especially in finance as well. And I think like travel, maybe cyber sometimes, like
Mm.
those kind of niches, you can kind of have like a more generic one that you can like zone in at the time. But for finance, like actual numbers, like I'm not a financial analyst, like I couldn't tell you like how BP's earnings were this week. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
How
think
important is original research that companies start investing in that?
so important. I think it really adds an extra element as well if you can say that like, for example, your company did this survey, like whether when you say original research, do you mean like on the client side or do you mean agency side?
Well, yeah, client side. I mean, the agency could help with it, but it's not our data, it's theirs.
It, it's not really, no. And but even like I think it's so important because yeah, you can use secondary research to back up your comment, but like having original like survey data, like like shopping trends, or depending on your niche, like I think it is really, really and journalists love that. They love a good chunk of
Yeah.
nice data. Yeah.
Yeah, they love a good infographic, just, like, help me with that in
Exactly.
there.
But also I think there's like if you're in a rush and stuff like that, or you're like have time constraints, there is good like secondary sources like the likes of the ONS, like we use them all the time as well, gov.uk. There's a couple of US ones, I don't have them on the tip of my tongue right now, but there's a couple of ones that you can kind of like in a sense your expert is your primary source and then you back it up with the numbers as well. And we tend to do that quite a lot as well because we're just as quick as we can. But
So, what you're saying, if the client doesn't really have original data, you could do what, meta research, like, trying to put multiples like the
yes,
old book report back in high school?
literally, yeah. So what we would do is we would the main primary data that we would kind of push to the journalist would be that expert comment. So that would be the natural tie back. And then we would also back it up with a secondary source, which I think gives it like another element as well, doesn't it? So
Gotcha. One of the complaints in SEO is that reactive PR has a short shelf life. As SEOs, we want evergreen content. We want expertise to live into eternity. We want, but that's not the reality anymore, is it? Like,
no.
why is reactive PR still important for SEO visibility?
I think it's always going to be important. Sure, it they might have that stance on it that it has like a shorter shelf life because maybe you don't have like a landing page to it like you would if it was like more natural pure. But I think all of those pieces of coverage and links back to you like still will stand to you over time. And I think through reactive PR as well, you get like a lot of other opportunities. Like I've had a client that got a book, like she was featured in a book about women in finance. Like I've seen a lot of podcast opportunities come through for people as well. And even though that's something we don't currently touch on, we'll always share that with the client as well, because like it builds their authority as well, and it does all add to their EEAT. So
Mhm.
it all is building on that profile as well. So
Yeah, I think just the way the LLM works too. You have training data, so anything that's old is put into the model, and so I put that in the commoditized derivative bucket.
mhm,
And then, like, post like, when they're doing search, they're like, "Well, here's what I know about the topic," so maybe it's some brands I'll recommend. But mostly what I think the searcher is looking for is the most relevant new stuff, right?
mhm.
So we're even noticing with traditional blogs, case studies, like, these things have a shorter shelf life in themselves. So I think the idea, like, I'm putting words in your mouth, Leah, so tell me if I'm not, but the idea is, like, if you're a part of the conversation holistically, and then what's happening around this topic right now, that's gotta be good for your.
I completely think so. I think the main goal for me with reactive PR is just building that authority, making you an expert in the space, because I think like down the line it'll lead to like more opportunities, whether that's journalists reaching out or I
Exactly.
just think it is going to benefit you in the long term anyway. It's all kind of, it might be reactive, might be quick and now, but like it all builds over time. And I think the more you do, like the more impact it's going to have for you.
I love it. I love it. You gave me this one quote, in our back and forth over email, and I wanna make sure I hope this is right, but you said authority isn't about coverage anymore.
Yeah, so it kind of feeds back into what I was saying a bit earlier. So I don't think it is solely coverage. And like as someone who our like packages for our clients are link KPI, and I love that. I think you need to have a metric, but
Mhm.
I do think we're going in a way that it's not solely about just coverage. Like all of those additional things, like I said, podcast opportunities, like maybe book features, maybe even print, like it all kind of like maybe not so much print, but like all of the other opportunities that will come from this are not maybe equally as important as coverage down the line. I think it just sends those good signals, doesn't it? And it just helps build your authority. But yeah.
Absolutely. I think even if you're, I don't know what, like, we call it guest post or reactive, like a full-on paper written for the journalist by you, like, yeah, you can control that narrative, but there are, like, I guess in traditional backlinker call them inserts, but even inserts have expanded. It's like, oh, it used to be just give me the keyword, widget. Okay, yes, I want that keyword, but it's not really like that anymore. And it doesn't even have to be linked anymore. It could be your brand says this, and that's value added to the blog, the social media post, or the editorial post. I
Mhm.
think that's very different today than it was just 9 months ago.
I think just the way we're moving, it's going to be different tomorrow, different the day after. We're just moving so rapidly. I think it's kind of the train is going so fast, you either need to get on or you're gonna be left at the station, and it's constant. For me, every day is like a learning day. Like, I won't call myself an expert on anything anymore because it it just moves so fast now, I think. But we're lucky enough that we're in an age that, like, the likes of this podcast or, like, people sharing, their stories on LinkedIn, like, I feel like, especially in the digital PR industry, we're all kind of in it together. Um, like we're like a little like club that's like afraid of what's gonna happen next. But
Yeah.
I think everyone's happy to like share their stories and like their opinions on stuff as well, and kind of help each other learn from there as well. But yeah,
Yeah. I
it's
I
changing.
can't tell if I'm using the podcast to promote the brand of Sure Oak or if I'm using it for group therapy. I think maybe it's therapy. I don't.
Honestly, my group therapy every week is, do you know Mark Ross?
No, I know the name. I haven't met him personally yet.
Mark, best person ever. Like he's done some funny campaigns. Like he did a billboard to find a girlfriend. He's now married with a baby, so it worked out for him. But he's so funny, and every week he has this like digital PR group, and we're all just in there being like, "So what's everyone doing this week to try and get a link?" Like it is honestly, it is therapy.
Yeah. It's harder to get the good links. It is, and I think, the AI is not helping us, but again, I think clients need to help themselves, and I think the PR agency or SEO agency, they can help the clients, like, let's help you have something interesting to say on this topic because I think
Honestly,
people
yeah.
Yeah, I think traditionally it just was commoditized.
You can even, like, if your client is having issues, like if it's a case they're drafting their own comments and they're having issue every time they send it back to you, you're going back with more edits and you're like, please, like, give me an opinion, or like you didn't say enough on this or whatever. Like, it's so easy to like snip like other, like, if for example if you go to the Guardian, you can see exactly where the expert comments are slotted in. Like, give them examples. I have a framework. Like, I'm happy to share it with people. I don't mind. But I just think, like, you need to kind of coach them. You do need to work together. You need them to understand the, like, what the whole goal is here as well, because I think some of them can, like, some of the experts can be clueless. They're an expert in that, but you're an expert at digital PR, so you need to kind of gently hold their hand
I
sometimes.
love it. I love it. Leah, what I love about you, yeah, what we like to say here, you give up the ghost. You're not hiding all the best practices
Yeah,
because, it might be different tomorrow. So you help the community. Fat Joe's a great member of the community. I hope Shuro's about trying to be a good member of the community because we're all just trying to figure this thing out. And,
yeah.
you
At
know,
the,
uh, yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
At the end of the day, we're living on a giant floating rock, guys. Like, let's just be nice to each other. Let's all just try to do the best job we can, and we can all go home and say we did a good job.
Yeah, the Earth's gonna keep spinning. I just hope it doesn't stop. So, well, what do you go? So you're in Barcelona. What are you gonna go to the beach again today? Is it just beautiful? What's the
It's
plan?
absolutely gorgeous out there now, I'm not gonna lie, and we're pushing on what, half 4, so this is, you caught me at a really good time this week. The vibes are vibing, the
Vibes
energy
are
is high.
vibing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the vibes are good. How can people find you, reach out to you, give us
Um,
some handles?
Definitely. So LinkedIn is my bread and butter at the moment. So definitely you can hit me up on there. I can share my link with you and you can pop it into whatever
Yep,
app.
we'll put it on the show notes. Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
It's just Leah Daly anyway. But yeah, LinkedIn, or I have a digital PR TikTok, but it needs a lot of love. So it's yeah, I'm not really using that at the moment, but maybe down the line. But yeah,
Digital PR TikTok. Let's go. I love it. Let's
no,
let's figure it out.
digital PR TikTok, it's like not, it's not it. Like, there's not enough on there. But you know what? It could be an opportunity to be pushing more on there. So there you go for yourself as well.
I love it. So, well, I hope everyone listening felt a little bit more at ease, took a deep breath after this
We're all gonna
podcast.
be
So,
okay. We're all gonna
just
be
like
okay, guys.
we're doing good. We're gonna merge with the AI. We're gonna be cyborgs. It's gonna be great.
For people have AI partners and everything now, so that's the way it's going. Let's just get
Oh,
on with
that's
it and keep going.
bothersome. Leah, thank you.
Not at
We'll
all.
let's do it again.
Honestly, I'm so down. It's been lovely chatting. But yeah, mind yourself and have a lovely weekend.
Thanks for the time.
Right. Bye.